All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have finally the confirmation of what we have been talking about the entire time. Treasury sanctions entities in Iran and Russia that attempted to interfere in the U.S. 2024 election. Happy New Year. December 31st, 2024, Washington. Today, the Department of Treasury's official Foreign Assets Control, OFAC, is designating a subordinate organization of Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, and a Moscow-based affiliate organization of the Russian Main Intelligence Directive, the GRU, and its director, pursuant to Executive Order 13848. The U.S. Election Interference Authority, as affiliates of the IRGC and GRU, these actors aim to stoke socio-political tensions and influence the U.S. electorate during the 2024 elections. Today's actions build on sanctions previously imposed on the RGC, the GRU, and their numerous subordinate and proxy organizations. Very important. Pursuant to several authorities targeting proliferation of weapons of mass destruction and malicious cyber-enabled activities, governments of Iran and Russia have targeted our election process, and institutions sought to divide the American people through targeting disinformation campaigns, said Acting Undersecretary of Treasury for Terrorism and Financial Intelligence Bradley T. Smith. The United States will remain vigilant against adversaries who would undermine our democracy. This is what I was talking about. Tehran's malign influence and election interference activities. In the summer of 2024, a joint United States government statement announced the government of Iran sought to stoke discord and undermine confidence in the United States democratic institutions using social engineering and other efforts to gain access to individuals with direct access to the presidential campaigns on both parties. Such activities, including thefts and disclosures of private information, are intended to influence the U.S. electoral process. Following this announcement on September 27, 2024, OFAC designated pursuant to EO 13848 an Iranian national and IRGC member who compromised several accounts of officials and advisors in the 2024 presidential campaigns. OFAC also designated 5 employees of Iranian cybersecurity firm Ahmet Pasargard, formerly known as NetPaygard Samavant Company, which OFAC designated in November of 2021 pursuant to 13848 for attempting to influence the U.S. 2020 presidential election. IRGC subsidiary organizations influence operations. Excuse me. A Cognitive Design Production Center, CDPC, is a subsidiary organization of IRGC. Since at least 2023, the CDPC planned to influence operations designated to incite socio-political tensions among the U.S. electorate in the lead-up to the 2024 elections on behalf of the IRGC. The OFAC is designated CDPC pursuant to EO 13848 for being owned and controlled by and or having acted in, purported to act for or on behalf of, directly or indirectly, the IRGC, a person whose property and interests in property are blocked, pursuant to EO 13843. Moscow's malign influence and election interference activities. The government of Russian Federation employs an array of tools, including covert foreign malign influence campaigns, illicit cyber activities, to determine the national security and foreign policy interests of the United States and its allies and partners globally. Moscow also routinely uses its intelligence services, government-directed proxies, and covert influence tools in these efforts. The Kremlin has increasingly adapted its efforts to hide its involvement by developing a vast ecosystem of Russian proxy websites, fake online personas, and front organizations that give the false appearance of being an international news sources unconnected to the Russian state. Today's designations follow prior OFAC actions that they highlighted and disrupted Russia's global malign influence campaigns, including RT, RAHD, IT, RRN, the doppelganger influence operations, Kremlin-directed malign influence efforts, interference in the U.S. elections, efforts to subvert democracy in Moldova, destabilization activities in Ukraine, and the operation of outlets controlled by Russian intelligence services. GRU affiliated entity uses artificial intelligence tools to interfere with United States 2024 election. The Moscow-based Center for Geopolitical Expertise, the CGE, founded by OFAC designated Alexander Dugin, directs and subsidizes the creation of a publication of deepfakes and circulated disinformation about candidates in the U.S. 2024 general election. The CGE personally worked directly with the GRU that oversees sabotage, political interference operations, and cyber warfare targeting the West. Since at least 2024, the GRU officer and CGE affiliate directed CGE Director Valery Makolovich Korovin and other CGE personnel to carry out various influence operations targeting the United States 2024 presidential election. At the direction of, with financial support from the GRU, CGE, and its personnel used to generate AI tools to quickly create disinformation that would be distributed across a massive network of websites designated to imitate legitimate news outlets to create false corroboration between the stories, as well as used to obfuscate their Russian origin. CGE built a server that hosts a generative AI tools that associated AI created content in order to avoid foreign web hosting services that would block their activity. The GRU provided CGE with a network of US-based facilitators with financial support to build and maintain its AI-supported server, maintain a network of at least 100 websites used in its disinformation operations, and to contribute to rent cost of the apartment where the server is housed. Korovin played a key role in coordinating financial support to the GRU and his employees and U.S.-based facilitators. In addition to using generative AI to construct and disseminate disinformation targeting U.S. electorate to lead up to U.S. 2024 election, the CGE also manipulated a video it used to produce baseless accusations concerning 2024 vice presidential candidate in an effort to sow discord among the U.S. electorate. Today, the OFAC is designating CGE and Korovin pursuant to EO 13848 for directly and indirectly engaged in, sponsored, concealed, and otherwise been complicit in foreign malign influence in the 2024 U.S. election. Additionally, the OFAC is designating CGE pursuant to EO 13694 as amended, EO 14024, and Section 224 of the Countering America's Adversaries Through Sanctions Act of 2017 for being owned and controlled by or having acted and purported to act or on behalf of or directly or indirectly the GRU, a person whose property and interests in property are blocked pursuant to EO blah, 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 as amended, EO blah, 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 and Section blah, 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 as also designated Korovin Board of Directors of the CGE, a person whose property and interests and property are blocked pursuant to. Okay, now what this means is that the EO 13848 had the 45 days. Once a press release of evidence having to do with international interference in the U.S. election triggers the next 45 days. The second stage of the 45 days is the sanctions from all the different departments, the Treasury, from CIA, Homeland Security, everybody. This is the first one. This confirms it's on its way. It's happening. Pay attention, ladies and gentlemen. I will get into this more. Stay diligent, stay educated, and be kind, but have peace. It is not over.